Zidane Danny, Electro Ninja here, and welcome back to Electro Ninja's Lab. I am here with my fellow nerd chat maker, ghost, whatever. This isn't technically nerd chat, so I didn't really want to call it nerd chat, but yes, say hello, Jack.
I'm Jack. Hello.
But yeah, this isn't technically nerd chat. This is going to be a special type of video that we will be doing for I don't know, maybe for a while. Um, but we'll at least be doing. We're gonna show these every now and again. We're using the or the nerd chat background to base for our discussion. But yeah, we're gonna. This is not nerd chat. Let's be very clear on that. This is a discussion on Witch Hat Atelier, which both of us have loved the manga and are absolutely loving the show. We just finished watching the third episode, um, and yeah, we love it. Uh, any
As
immediate thoughts?
usual and as expected, it was gorgeous.
Yeah, honestly, having to wait for 7 years for this show to actually get made, I think it might have been worth it because it is gorgeous. Like holy crap, chef's kiss, because it truly is amazing. Um, Now we've both read a decent amount of Witch Hat. We are not caught up. Neither of us are caught up with the full manga at this point in time. I have all 14 volumes. Jack, how many of the volumes do you have at this point?
6.
You have 6 of them. Okay, so yeah, you're still. I think you're a little bit behind what I am. Yeah, because I think I have read through volume 10, give or take. So yeah. But that's not important. It's we've both read enough that the anime is not gonna catch up to us. Is the point? Um, at least not for a while. But it is absolutely gorgeous, and at this point in time, I do believe it is the number one scored anime for the season. For On my anime list. Uh, in terms of members, it is number two. So you can, for those of you who aren't fully aware, on my anime list, you are able to look at the most popular shows via both members and score. And right now, Witch Hat is standing at number one for score and number two for members, which is not really that surprising. But also, it's only like 2K behind the number one for members. So, yeah. Oh my gosh. But yeah, so it is absolutely gorgeous. You are 100% right about that. Um, and the thing is that we knew it had to be gorgeous, and that was part of the reason why we kind of were waiting to see. We When we first heard that this was happening, we were a little bit worried that it might not live up to expectations. But now we should not have been worried at all. Holy crap! Um,
No, it surpassed expectations, if I do say so myself, quite honestly. And I'm a
yeah,
picky guy about anime. I don't watch a lot of anime. I'm a picky guy. So
yeah,
when I find an anime that I will sit down and watch every week and like wait for it to come out, that right there is saying a lot.
yeah, and like part of the reason why we are doing that is because of the fact that we've talked extensively about the series in the past. So, and we both love the series. Um, so, and granted, it's only been 2 weeks, but we've watched it consistently on both days. Um, so, yeah, um, to say that we're excited is a very big understatement. Um, but I guess we should probably start with the first episode, um, which obviously that was mostly dealing with Coco, Keyfree, and Coco's mom. Not really delving. It obviously doesn't delve into the rest of the family. But it's basically a quick little backstory on who Coco is, and how everything happens, introducing us to the world, but like the idea of what the world looks like to regular people, which you don't really see that too much. Um, like it's really good. Um, uh, Usually I've seen like obviously most things where it's in a magical world, but the magical world is somewhat hidden from the rest of the world. Um, they don't really go too much into the world building aspect of it. While this one really did go in depth with it and like shows how much do regular people know about magic, and it's honestly impressive, and especially the fact that magic is in the Witch Hat universe. It's not the same as magic in like Harry Potter or whatever, where you have to be born with it and so on and so forth. Pretty much everyone can do magic, but there's like a lot of things that are basically keeping people from doing magic, such as the secret. They keep it a secret from people, from everyone else, because disaster struck years and years ago, and people used magic for evil deeds. Um, and personally, I think the whole you're supposed to really think about this show, and it's not a show that you can just be like, oh yeah, everyone's gonna love. Like it's gonna be like, I do think a lot of people will love this series, especially artists and the LGBT community. Um, oh my gosh, but yeah, in terms of like other groups, like there are going to be some people who are not necessarily going to like it. Like if you're really into action, yes, it has quite a bit of action. Yes, it has some really good aspects to it. It's a very cute story about and there is action, but comparatively it's mostly about the magic. It's about world building, and the thing is like to remember that the author Kaname Shirahama, she is prolific when it comes to what she has done. Um, I don't know. How much have you seen of her work?
Not a lot. Like I said, I'm a picky guy, so I haven't really read or watched too much.
Okay, so yeah, so she worked a little bit on Star Wars Visions in terms of like anime stuff. And then she's also done a few manga. So she was involved with the Star Wars Visions manga. She was involved with a few other things. She's worked for Marvel and DC, um, and she her previous series was Inale and Duelia, which was basically female good omens. So yeah. And obviously, like you've watched Good Omens, right? Or read it?
Yes, read
Um,
it.
okay. Have you read Anelli and Duelia?
No.
Okay. It's a very short series, only 3 volumes. Got canceled, unfortunately. Um, but it's a very cute little love story between and also like pure nonsense between an angel and a demon, and it's yeah. But yeah, Shirahama has done some really amazing work, especially like I said with the she was involved with uh Star Wars Visions as a very specific episode. She worked on The Elder, um as well as like I said, she's worked with Marvel, she's worked with DC, did like a whole bunch of stuff, and I kind of wish that they would actually tell us like my anime list only really focuses on the manga and the anime side of things rather than like um, comic books. But she has worked on a lot of various different things. Um, but her artwork is just really incredible, especially like it looks like it's um block printing or wood printing, whatever. It's the old fashioned way of printing things. um Wood block printing, is that what it was? Is that the terminology that was used for? I think that's
What was it?
for the style of for Witch Hat specifically.
Oh, I don't remember.
I think it's like wood block or something like that because it is absolutely gorgeous. 100%. If you have any interest in art, I would 100% recommend checking out reading Witch Hat, and then also read the watch the show. Seriously, there are very few shows that I would say even hold a candle to it. I thought it's really interesting though because there's a lot of talk actually about Witch Hat right now. There's obviously the key free compared to Gojo thing, which we'll get to that, as well as that people are calling it a member of the fantasy big three, and they're putting it up there with like Frieren and Delicious in Dungeon. Personally, I wouldn't necessarily put Delicious in Dungeon in the fantasy top big three, but the primary reason for that is just because of how short Delicious in Dungeon is gonna be.
Fair.
Because that's only like I think 12 volumes or something like that. Total, and it's not getting more. I think that's right. I could be wrong about that, but I'm pretty sure that's the case. But yeah. So yeah, like I said, the first episode is mostly like setting up the world, getting us introduced to our first two characters. The second episode obviously introduces us to the rest of the girls, that of Agat, Tetia, and Reshe. How do you pronounce her name?
You know, I've never known. All I've done is read it.
Yeah, I they called her by her name in the show, and it's just like, it's so. Tetia is, I think, the only one who's actually called her by the name so far, and Tetia has like a very childish voice, which makes sense for her.
Yes,
it does make sense for her. Is it annoying? A bit.
Yeah.
Keep in mind, we
Very.
are watching this in English. We've been watching the dub, not the sub. So we don't know what their voices sound like in the Japanese, but we might watch that later at some point. But also, like, as much as she's annoying, they really got the right cast for I think almost every single character. At least I would say, like, getting the guy who plays Kifre is just, he is so supportive of Coco and the other girls and taking care of them, and I love him. He's such a great character. He really encapsulates his character. Coco being just like so freaking insane. I love the actress who does her voice does an amazing job. Agat being like this really brooding, just yeah, and then Richie, soft spoken. Like I said, everyone was cast brilliantly. We haven't heard Ulrugio's voice yet, but yeah. And also, we were planning to do this the first of these videos before we watched the third episode, and we didn't even know about Brush Buddy. But as soon as we see him moving around, we're just like, Brush Buddy! Oh, we love Brush Buddy.
True. We were like, Brush.
And what did you say? You
I
said
want an army.
You want
I want
army.
an army of them.
Yeah.
I need an army of brush buddies for
Yeah.
my devious purposes, so that I may rule the world. Obviously.
Fair. Brush Buddy is amazing. They need to make him into a plush, like an official plush. Not, I'm not like. Granted, there are people who have made some Brush Buddies already, and he's not complicated. It's not like it would be like comparatively. He's probably one of the easiest characters to make into a plush. But yeah, I would love like you know that as soon as a Brush Buddy plush comes out, we're both getting one at least.
Oh, 100%.
Like there is nothing that is gonna stop us from getting from each getting one of those. So we
The whole
love.
not having a job thing that'll stop me.
Well, yeah, that's true. That's true. But we will try and get it as soon as we can. But we love Brush Buddy. He's amazing. But yeah, and yeah, the third episode completely does. Would you consider the mountains an arc? It's only like I think it's 2 chapters in the original manga. So I don't know if I would call it, because it's 1 episode in this. I wouldn't necessarily call it an arc, but it felt longer, I think, in the manga. But maybe that's just because we read it, so I don't know. But yeah, I think actually I'd have to look at it. I'd have to look. I don't have my volumes on my first volume easily accessible right now, so I can't grab it. But yeah, I should have my volumes with me when we're doing this, I think. But yeah, we've met a few of the characters. We met oh, yeah, they do actually say his name. They do the first we'll call him the first of the Brim Tats. Let's call him that. My anime list is gonna spoil the name for those of you who haven't read the manga. But we have met the first of the Brim Tats. So I'm watching this twice, because I'm watching it with my family as well as you. So yeah, so I'm curious if Keyfree and him are actually the same voice actor, because they do sound similar. No. Oh. Okay. I don't know who that is. Yeah, I don't know who this voice actress? I'm assuming. But yeah. Interesting. But yeah, so that's, I don't know. We'll see what happens with with that. But we have met we have met our friend, the first of our witch friends, who's an adult, with Elira, I think is how her name is pronounced. She was briefly in the third episode. But yeah, we haven't met Urugio yet, which I'm intrigued to see who does his voice. Looks like it's gonna be this guy named Regan Murdoch. Wait, who? Oh, that's gonna be interesting. So apparently he is. I can't. Let's see if there's something that you. I don't think there's anything you would recognize. He has done a few voices though. In terms of like, he's been in Fire Force as Dragon. But I'm not really. There's not many that I think that you would recognize. He does have a deep voice though. a deep gravelly voice, which at least in what I recognize him from, he can do multiple voices though, so I don't think it's going to necessarily be. I don't think he's going to do a bad job. Let me make that very clear. I think that he's going to do whoever he is probably going to do a good job, because they got like insanely good people for that to do all of the voices. But yeah, but yeah, what so far? What would you say is your favorite part of the series? Just off the show.
My favorite part of the series, based off the show.
So far, yeah.
So far, Brush Buddy, duh.
Okay, besides Brush Buddy, because everyone knows we love Brush Buddy.
Uh, Probably watching Coco's face as she struggles. Like in the manga, it's really good,
Oh
but
yeah,
also
they have
like
done
seeing her
so
face
good.
move,
All of
seeing
her
her face physically move, and watching her go through this journey of emotions while she's in the Dada range was just like, ugh, so good.
yeah, and
And
also
even
we've
even
seen her doing
even
some other
saying
things before
Brush
as
Buddy,
well. Yeah.
even Brush Buddy, the emotions on his face were crazy to watch. It had the little squeaks and the little facial expressions and all that. They just, yeah, it was
It's
good.
adorable. Yes. That is true. They did a really good job with the emoting, especially because like a lot of the other characters don't really emote that much. It's mostly like we see like all the time like Coco wigging out because she's a mess. Like let's be honest, she is such a mess. But like all of the emotions that she portrays throughout the series, and like when she's fighting Keyfree when he's trying to save her in the first episode because she's so desperate to save her mom, like you don't really get that movement when you're reading through the manga, but oh my gosh, they did such a good job with that, and also like oh it's gorgeous, it really is. So I do have to say I love that. And I mean, granted, I think if we had to choose something that was bad about the series, it probably is Tetia's voice. And it's not that it's bad, it's more of like it's annoying, which is reasonable for who she is.
Fair.
Oh my gosh, yeah. I I do have to agree. She can get really freaking annoying at times, especially early on when she's like doing the whole "thank you for thanking me" and all that stuff. Like you get like I think the whole point of that first interaction with her is really to show you who she is of as a character. Like we do get to see more of that. We do get to see more of her interactions. Honestly, we get to see like all of the different girls interactions with each other throughout the series, um, especially after what's coming next, which is I would call it the Castletown arc.
Yes.
That's gonna be so fun to watch them.
Yes.
And them working together to fight the dragon, and it's just like, yes, this is gonna be awesome. We're really excited for it. In case it's not completely obvious, we're extremely excited about this show, and honestly, I would recommend this show to any artist 100%, because this is a show that is really made for artists by artists, and it is gorgeous. um it it delves so deeply into not giving up, and um even when you feel like your art is not doing well, you will always be able to improve and always make it better. And all of the characters really encapsulate all of the aspects of being an artist, and like whether you're uncertain of your art, whether you are like extremely thankful for people being supportive of it. I think that's something that I would describe Tetia. Tetia represents the aspect of being so thankful for people loving your art, and I love that. I love that about her. Coco is that nervousness of not knowing what the heck you're doing. Agat is kind of the representation of you're so confident in your art, but every now and again you need to be taken down a peg. Um, and like sometimes that happens. Sometimes you're gonna have like those days where you're gonna be like so proud of your art, but but you need to remember, hey, you can still make mistakes, and there are going to be people who are going and not getting bitter about she has like this whole arc about not being bitter about Coco, because Coco really does show that she can do a lot of things, and for how old she, considering the fact that she is completely new to this stuff, she does a lot that like kind of pisses Agat off at times. So yeah, and Riche basically feels like she's the quietness, not really wanting to share your art right away with people, and I love them. I love all of these characters. They're so great. And Kifre and Urugio, their relationship is adorable. Um, I love them. They're great. Kifre and Urugio, I just yes. But yeah, and the thing is, we're not gonna meet Urugio for a while, which is kind of insane considering how much he's involved in like the opening, as well as like he's on the cover, for crying out loud, and of the anime, and like he's not that involved, especially at this point in time. Like how do you feel about how much they're like putting him like front in like a lot of the videos, as well as like having him on the poster? Like,
Yeah, I don't know. He's not introduced to the second volume, so we'll see.
we'll see.
We'll see.
Yeah, it feels weird to me, is like the big thing. Like, yes, he is an extremely important character, but a lot of that is much later. Like, he's yes, he's introduced in the second volume, but he's not really that involved. Um like, yes, he is such a tsundere, though. He deeply cares about both the kids and Kifri, and but he keeps that kind of hidden, and I love them. I love all the characters. They're so great. But yeah, I don't know. I think it was weird because I was like, as I was showing the show to my parents, one of the first questions that they asked me is, who is that guy? Who is Urugio? And it's like, oh yeah, he's involved, but not for a while. um I think what I said is, yeah, he might be involved in like maybe the 6th episode might be when he gets introduced, which is like halfway through the season. So like it might be sooner than that. It might be, but I don't see him getting introduced until at least the 6th episode, because like maybe they'll do the his scene where he first meets Coco in at the end of like episode 5, when they're getting back, because I think that's she meets him when they're getting back, right? I think that's when it is from from their adventure in the
I think you're right.
I think that's the right placement. I don't have the book on me right now. We'll talk more about this as we go. So it's possible, but we'll see. We'll see how much they actually have him be involved. I mean, I think the poster is fine with the way that they're handling it, but yeah. Also, They have like Tarda and a lot Alera in the intro in the OP, which I mean that makes sense. But also they also have Alera's student and Tarta's master, and like they're involved, but like even even though they're in the OP, they're not really that involved, and they don't like show them off as being like super involved. But what that does tell me, and I think that that's a reasonable assumption to make for the series, is that they're probably going to get all the way to, I want to say, what happens for the second test. I think that's. Do you remember the second test?
No.
They were going on the road, and they that's when they first. I think that's the first official meeting of with the Brim Tats.
I
Because
think you're right.
I think they might show up. They might show up somewhat in the like obviously they're in the background when the guards show up. When the top, when the red coats, I'm just gonna call them red coats. I don't think they have like I don't know what their official name is off the top of my head, but when they show up for the first time, um, so they're involved with that. They're involved with the whole situation that happens at the on the whatchamajiggle, um in the castle town. They're involved with that, but you don't really see them. I don't think the girls meet them until I don't think they meet them until the second test, and then all that happens at the second test, which I don't even want to talk about that until that episode is out, truthfully, because that's insane when that happens. But yeah, I don't know. I feel like this first video where we're talking about the first 3 episodes feels a little bit more disjointed, but I think that's mostly because we're talking about all 3 as well as like what could happen. Because the next few episodes obviously will probably be a lot more focused, because those are going to be happening. Who's ready for episode 4?
Me.
It's gonna be awesome, and that should be the start of the that arc. Which also, can I just say, I am so proud of them for not going overboard with the recap and the here's what's gonna happen in the next episode. I am so proud of
Amen
them.
to that.
Like, could you imagine if they were pulling that like what they do with My Hero Academia and other things?
Oh my god, it'd be so gimmicky.
Yeah, this show is like this is truly an artist's masterpiece is what I think that is really a point that needs to be made, and I think it's also important to bring up that Witch Hat is really a special manga and anime because comparatively it's not the same as like standard anime, because most manga are never compared to like any other thing but manga. Witch Hat has been compared to pretty much every comic there is at this point, in some way, shape, or form. Because it's what is the award that it got? The Will Eisner Award. Is that what it's got? I think that's what it is. Just grab the volume. Yeah, so it has the Will Eisner Award as well as the Harvey Award for manga. That's for comics. That's like in general comics. So, like, that's not something that like a lot of people will talk about, but considering what it is just insane. Um, so I'm hoping that this series is going to get compared to other to things outside of manga, outside of anime, because it does deserve to be treated with respect. And honestly, personally, I think that this should get Anime of the Year this year. I know that is a very bold statement to make at this point in time, especially considering the fact that we're only in like the second season of the year. But I don't think that another anime deserves this that award as much as this one does. Um, like, sure, it would be going up against like Frieren season 2 and like other major shows, freaking My Hero Academia's final episode. Uh, there's like a few other things that are coming, but I don't know all of the different anime that are happening. There's a lot that are happening throughout this year, and we don't even know even half of what's coming. So, who knows? Well, we might know more. We might know more than half, but it's hard to say exactly how much we know is coming. But yeah, we know that there's a lot, and my point is, it deserves it does deserve to be considered, if not the best, it at least deserves to get nominated, I think. And like I said, I think it is the highest scored. Yeah, it's the highest scored anime this season, and then it is not the highest scored. The highest scored anime last season is Frieren. And there are some things that are above it, but yeah, specifically in terms of like this season, it is the number one, and I hope that it does go up. I really do. I hope that this, Witch Hat, I think personally deserves a 10. Deserves a 10 out of 10. And I think part of the reason why it might not be as high as I think it deserves might be that a lot of the manga fans are watching it, and they're wanting to make sure that it's not gonna be a mess. I think that's a big issue. And they're waiting to review it until they know for a fact that it's good. Because like, as much as these first 3 episodes are amazing, there are some people that are going to look at this and be like, "Oh, but what if the later episodes are trash?" And it's like, Shirahama Kamame Shirahama is not going to let it be bad. I think that that's something that should be very, very clear. She is not going to let this series be bad. It is her baby, and she is so proud of this series. So, yeah. But yeah, I love Witch Hat. It's so good. Should we talk about the Gojo thing though? The meme between Kifri and Gojo.
No.
We should at least mention it. It's not like that. It's Kifri and Gojo have nothing to do with each other. Let that be very clear. As much as people think like, oh, they look alike, ha ha ha. As much as it's a meme, they have very little to do with each other. Like the only thing, and I've said this multiple times, the only similarities between them is that one, they look like each other, and 2, they're gay. I think that's the only thing that you can possibly say is actually the same about. Well, I guess they're both mentors, but like in terms of personality, like they have no similarities whatsoever. So yeah. Like you've read some of that, right? Some of Jujutsu Kaisen.
Yeah.
Okay. So you know what Gojo is like. No. And also,
He's
Kiefer
not
came
Kiefer.
first. Huh?
He's not Kiefer, and Kiefer is better.
Kiefer is so much better. And Kiefer came first. So, ha ha ha.
True.
He's like, yeah, he's been out for like 7 freaking years. Why did this take so long to get animated? Seriously. Like, as much as we have said already that it makes us happy that the series looks as good as it does. I am so worried that it's going to take forever for us to get the second season once this is over. Because this is amazing. This is truly an amazing series. And it deserves, like, it deserves to be the #1 anime, I think. And, yeah. I don't know. We'll see what happens. Hopefully things go smoothly. And, honestly, I really hope that this, like, exemplifies to people, to anyone who is, like, an AI supporter, go fuck yourself, first off. But also to, to realize this is what real art looks like. This is the true definition of art. It is the passion that is behind this series. So, yeah. So, yeah, that's Witch Hat. The first 3 episodes, they're amazing. Go watch them if you haven't. We should, yeah, we're probably gonna do more videos about Witch Hat as time goes on, because it's very, very fun. And probably, well, this one wasn't super focused, because we're just like we're really excited about this series. We'll probably focus a little bit more when it comes to the next episode. Because we all we'll be talking about is the actual episode itself. So, yay. But anyways, guys, hopefully you've enjoyed today's... What are we going to call this? Witch Hat reviews?
Yeah.
Witch Hat reviews. That's good. Oh, anyways, guys, hopefully you enjoyed this Witch Hat review, and we will see you guys next time. But on...